Welcome back, my little recusants, to another episode of our Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories 100% guide. We've just gone through all of the previous worlds, done the RNG manipulation for every floor previously, and now we get to not look at a Heartless for a whole episode because we are going to the 100 Acre Wood, the most wholesome yet infuriating world of this game, because the high scores are ridiculous and we now have to complete every minigame in the 100 Acre Wood, getting the highest score to get a trophy for each individual minigame. What's wrong, little fella? I'm looking for my friends. Are they around here? It looks like nobody's here. Oh, then perhaps I'm looking for nobody. You're looking for nobody? I suppose I must be, but then I don't seem to know where anyone is. And all this searching is making my tummy rumble. I wonder if there's any honey around. Oh, but I have to stop to eat first. I have to stop searching. Why don't we look together to find your friends? For nobody, you mean? No, for your friends. They might be around here. Let's find them together. Are you looking for my friends too? No, but I'm looking for some friends of my own. Are they friends who knew my friends? I'm not sure, Pooh. I know what. It's like when you miss your friends. Why don't we go look for them together? I think I'd like that, Sora. Now, an easily missed friend is over here by Pooh's house. You look at these various different hedges. This doesn't even classify as a minigame. I don't know what it is. But it's missable because you could actually run right by Pooh's house further into the 100 Acre Wood book and not see Piglet. So he is missable. But basically you will see him dart around all the different bushes until eventually he'll run out and you can talk to him. Oh! Oh dear, don't mind me. You're not Pooh's friend? Well, I'm not Pooh's friend. Why, hello there, Piglet. Oh, it's you, Pooh. I'm so relieved I finally found someone. I got separated from the others and I was worried I didn't know what to do. And that explains why you're so jumpy. Piglet, why don't you help us look for our friends? Oh, what should I do? I guess he doesn't want to come. Wait, please! Have you decided to join us, Piglet? Well, no, I'm thinking, but here, I got something I found in the bushes that might help you find everyone else. Well, okay, I know I was, bitching about all the minigames, but we do actually get an awful lot of goodies from the 100 Acre Wood, so I can't even be that disappointed or angry. But just make sure you find Piglet because he is missing. And you need his log, not only for Jiminy's journal, because that's important, but you also need the Confused Slight so that you can get the trophy for learning every single slight in the game. So we've done that. We can't jump on Pooh's house, but we can knock the bell for those Moogle points. And you should ring that bell to get notifications of when we upload new content to the channel. And if you aren't subscribed, maybe you would consider subscribing. And if you're already subscribed, maybe you would leave a like and a comment on these videos and share them with fellow Kingdom Hearts fans who want to try and get platinum trophies in all the Kingdom Hearts series, which this channel will aim to do. Moving on into the second area of the 100 Acre Wood, we have lots of things to hit. And if we're lucky, we can get some Moogle points, but we seem to be mainly getting HP orbs, which isn't really the vibe. Oh, we get a few Moogle points, but oh man, there's just so many HP orbs, and we've no Heartless, so just give us Moogle points, god damn it. But this starts another one of our, well, this starts the first minigame of the 100 Acre Wood. It's a little bit crazy, and I don't really like it, and it gave me literal heart palpitations thinking, when I get to 100% chain of memories, it wasn't the enemy card hunting, it wasn't the deck editing, it wasn't the room generation, it wasn't all the bosses and getting trips to the card system. It was these mini games that actually made me freak out, thinking because I have never in my life gotten these trophies for completing them, but I've persevered, and now I'm going to show you guys how to get them through, you know, my tips and tricks, I suppose. I basically have this mini game is where we have to basically sort cabbages and pumpkins and stop Pooh getting hit in the head with stray vegetables, because we know our boy only eats honey, and the thought of a vegetable even touching his little Pooh Bear body could, you know, cause him to break out in a horrible rash. But essentially the cabbages go with X or square, and then the pumpkins go with B or circle, depending on your controller. We need to get a total of 30 of them sorted, and I've just put it to double speed here, but it's basically, you know, hit them to the left or the right as appropriate, and a bit like Guitar Hero, you have to like move Sora to the right column in order to get it to work. But then Pooh starts running like a mad lad into the middle of the yoke, and unfortunately you can just get bad timing where it really is nearly impossible to get by without him getting bonked away. Now you'll notice that since Pooh got hit, we've now only 5 lives left, and unfortunately, like with that pumpkin that requires 5 hits with a Keyblade strike grade, if a vegetable goes by you or you sort a vegetable into the wrong place, you end up with losing a life as well. So unfortunately this isn't the run, but for the trophy we need to get 150 vegetables sorted, and I'm just using X or circle to just knock away the carrots just out of the way. It doesn't sort them, but it just makes you swing the Keyblade to knock them away. And now you kind of get a yoke where Pooh isn't in any danger. You get like 12, but after that you're doing your darndest just to make sure Pooh doesn't get hit by these bloody vegetables. And then the later you get into the minigame, the faster they end up going. And then the carrots literally ruin your day. And your main thing is to try and get 5 hits on the big pumpkin, and you'll knock it away, and it'll give you 3 points at least. But again, now we have a thing after the big pumpkin. We have a you know, time where Pooh just doesn't run out into the road. Then there's a time where Pooh runs into the road, and then there's the big pumpkin. And that's basically the cycle. But for beating the minigame for the first time, we end up getting cross/plus, which is a really nice slate. And we're going to have to do it again until we get a score of over 150. And this is the winning run. This is not by any means the second time I did it, unfortunately. But the minigame is pretty much the same. You get one where Pooh is happy to sit out. You get the Pooh being crazy. And it just happens that whatever way the pumpkins and cabbages fell, Pooh happens just run in such a way that he didn't get hit by any of them, and we didn't even have to throw the Keyblade. We then get a second batch of 15 to, you know, throw our way through, and we managed to get rid of the pumpkin early. We'll now have another round where Pooh just sits there, and then Pooh will come out, cause that bloody butterfly. That's a little signal to say the next round is a Pooh craziness. And unfortunately, I sorted wrong, so that was my fault. And then they just start getting faster and faster as they come down. But this was a really, really good run so far. Oh, and these bloody carrots, they're actually driving me freaking mad with just knocking into them. And the only good thing I'll say is I put this on 2 times speed, so it's actually so much slower in the real life game. If you're thinking I do not have the reaction time to deal with this, it will be so much slower in the actual one. But yeah, your thing is just literally, when you see it, just call out, like left, right, left, you know, just to keep yourself clued into what the actual thing is. And I'm after getting a new record, and I'm like, okay, I'm over 100, I've 3 lives, 3 lives left, immediately regretting my life choices and thinking I was like fairly safe and secure. But just stay focused on the Pooh Bear round, because that's where things can get absolutely manic if Pooh gets knocked into one, and then because you were trying to rescue Pooh, you're then not focused and something, you know, goes by you. But we managed to deal with the pumpkin there, which is great. And so the more of the times you can get the pumpkin when it's really high up in the hill, the better you'll be. Now I have something really sad to tell you. The trophy does not pop when you've actually beaten the high score, which I thought it would. I thought it would say, oh, you've now crested the high score, it'll reward you the trophy. No, it doesn't. You literally have to then finish the minigame, and it will then say, oh, yes, you've finished the minigame with a score of higher and higher. So at this point, I'm like, no, I'm well over 150. I can just let it go, like Elsa. And then, bam, Veggie Master unlocked. And an extra fire card that are so rare. We love that for ourselves. Now, this one I didn't put on 2x speed. But that's just because it is literally one of those games where you have to collect every single honey droplet. This is like, I suppose, what's it like? It's like you have to kind of float along up this tree. But if you touch bees or touch a branch, it pops the balloon and you fall to the bottom. So this was by no means my first attempt. I tried this, I'd say 9 to 10 times, but I'm just cutting back to the winning run, because you basically have to collect every single honey droplet to get a score of 500, and 500 is the trophy. Like, you get the trophy for collecting 500 honey droplets. So I literally was like, there's no point in me finishing it and then coming back to try and get every honey droplet. I will just only finish it when I've collected absolutely everything. But you do get extra lives as you fly further up. So just keep an eye out for the bees and you should be okay. Oh. And like, what's nice is that the game does give you plenty of little extra lives as you go up along. So just try not to go too high, because if a balloon touches a branch, or Sora's foot touches the branch, you're kind of snookered as well. But just little light taps. There's no rush in this, there's no timer. But here's where it's like, oh, now you have to kind of go around in a full circle to collect everything. But Pooh was like so macabre. He was like, is this the way I want to die? Hanging off this teenage boy, floating around on 3 balloons. Oh my god, like so scary. It's like, Pooh Bear, come on bro. Like, have a little bit of happiness please. You're like literally a beloved childhood character, and it's just like, yeah, no. This is how it ends, Sora. That's it. We're all going down together. But as I say, there's times where I break and then I'm like, oh my god, well at least there's another balloon here. But I have to say, I like it when the balloons were like the red, blue and green for like Sora, Donald and Goofy. I liked that like parallel. But just keep an eye to your left and right and look for how and when those bees are coming, because unfortunately they will respawn as well if you take too long, so then you could get stuck in a bad situation. But just, you see there, I'm looking saying, oh, there's 2 and they're going to converge, but now that they're past, zoom up a little bit, and then we're collecting a bunch here to the side, and again seeing a big like looping one way and looping another. So this will have a lot of backwards and forwardsing, so just don't be afraid of that, but just very gently. And another thing to mention, the collector of the honey is Pooh. So even though Sora's legs are dangling down lower, it's actually Pooh Bear's body that collects the honey orbs. Not Sora's head, not Sora's feet, but Pooh Bear himself. Oh, it's so stressful. Like, I couldn't imagine a challenge of like doing this run without even losing a balloon. And I'm sure there's absolute pro gamers that can do this challenge without bursting a balloon. But I'm like, it's not me. I'm not a pro. I'm knowledgeable, but my actual gaming skills are definitely not to the pro level. And I'm like, okay, I see the bees. I'm gonna just go opposite to the bees. I'm gonna just go around this circle, opposite to the bees. I can just float along, that's fine. Oh, I see them coming this way. We're at 450, and then I'm like, okay, no, it's fine. This is the top. Just don't go too high, because if you go too high too quickly, you won't be able to collect all 500.
Oh, yummy.
Because it's, yeah, like one little extra kick up, and it's like, yeah, done. But, yeah, you had to collect every honey droplet, and now that is the second minigame done and dusted. I haven't been reading these, but you can read them yourself, I suppose. And also, it's the 100 Acre Wood. It's not exactly lore breaking, you know? But Owl basically does say, yeah, there's sometimes no point in just knowing where your friends are if you end up separated from them. Which is like such a powerful thing for like the end of Kingdom Hearts, where yes, Riku knows where Kairi is. She knows that she's safe. But he can't be reunited with her because he's now gone after Riku, who again, he knows was sealed in Kingdom Hearts in the Realm of Darkness, but now has to try and find him. So Sora is literally in the case where he actually knows where both his friends are, but he's completely separated from all of them. And now we get the lovely Faraga Burst, a nice new Slight for us all. And then moving on to the next minigame. This one was my nightmare, and then I realized I don't actually need to memorize all of these. We can just legitimately write them down. Because Tigger's minigame is a game of Simon Says. So Tigger is going to start a number of a combination. So he might go XX circle circle. And then we're going to have to repeat that by going XX circle circle. Well, it would actually never be XX, because you can't do the same twice in a row. But it could be X circle X. And then you're going to have to do that. And then you'll have to continue by him going X circle X triangle. And then you can go X circle X triangle. And so on and so on. He will continue to jump and bounce around to make a longer button sequence. And it'll never be a different button sequence. It will always just be the same buttons again and again. So his sequence here is X, Y, X. And that'll be X, Y, X, Y. And then we have to go X, Y, X, Y. And what you do is, you just have a sheet of paper that's beside you, and you just write down that code, and then you just look at the sheet and type that code, and then just watch Tigger, and you're only going to have to add maybe 1 or 2 letters at the end. So X, Y, X, Y, X, A, Y. X, Y, X, Y, X, A, Y, X. And so X, Y, X, Y, X, A, Y, X. And this is it ad nauseum until you get to 120 points. But when you have the sheet of paper in front of you and you're only re-watching Tigger for 1 extra input, and then you are literally just typing that input, looking at the sheet, this minigame is trivial. So, as I say, there is no pressure. Just have a little notepad, physically write it down beside you, and you'll be A-okay. But I fell victim to forgetting that this game wouldn't just pop the trophy when I was finished. And then I got into the panic of just continuing to do it because I didn't want to pause in case I, you know, I first of all didn't know if I could pause. And then I was like, oh god, what if like I look away to like look up something and then I miss the sequence. So it was really just like, what am I doing? And I ended up going all the way to like 200 points because I was like, maybe it's 150, maybe it's 160, maybe it's 200, maybe it's 210, I don't remember. And then eventually I just got to about 200 points and I said, right, I'm pausing here. And then I look it up and I was like, oh, it was 120. And then I was like, I just have to lose. Oh well. But yeah, really not hard if you just cheese it and just write the combination on a notepad. But I have to be honest, the 100 Acre Wood skills, like the cross/plus and other rewards, are absolutely 100% completely worth. Like, it's really powerful boosts, and I've always found that like the 100 Acre Wood in Kingdom Hearts 1, in Kingdom Hearts 2, and in Chain of Memories, like they have been powerful boons to the player. Like they gave us stop upgrades, they gave us EXP rings, they gave us summon magic like in the first one, and now they're giving us magic, they're giving us all sorts, and it's just brilliant. Like, and once again, if you're looking being like, I will never be able to write this out that fast, this is at 2x speed. And it's actually Tigger's speed that messes us up sometimes because he's so bloody slow in each input that if you were trying to do this without a pen and paper, you would legitimately be screwed. Like, you would just be left being like, actually, I'm only half through the combination and I don't remember. So this is where I paused and I was like, oh god, like, is it 250? What is it? And then I was like, oh, it's bloody 120. This is so cringe. And then I was like, okay. And like, this is how long the sequence has gotten, ladies and gents. He just doesn't bloody stop. And he's obsessed with like X and Y as well. Like, he so rarely hits B. And then I was like, I'll just go to like 1.5 or 250 and stop. Just as a nice round high score. And then I was like, oh sugar, I was just trying to press a random number and I accidentally did it right. And I was like, oh, I'll make it to 260. And then I pressed it wrong. But all in all, not a bad minigame. It's grand. Not bad at all. We were just trying to bounce like you, Tigger. I'm surprised you could keep up with me. Is that so? Well, can you do this? And it's like, in fairness to Sora, he'd have to have like the absolute like calves of steel to be leaping around with a honey-filled bear across large distances onto like hardwood stumps. But as a reward, we end up getting another new slight for a card we don't even have yet, the Bambi summon. But we do get Idle Romp, which basically allows Bambi to bounce on Heartless, injure them, and they drop prize orbs. And there's a lot of confusion statuses in Wonderland, you know? But before you leave here, there's a hidden treasure chest up there. So not only do we get a bunch of slights, not only do we get like a bunch of useful cards, we get a lovely Spellbinder card, so that's always nice. And a nice link to the fact that Merlin gave us the book, and now we have Merlin's Spellbinder as well in the game, given to Sora within Merlin's magic book of the 100 Acre Wood. And this is so deceptive because there's actually two mini games in this part of the world. One is you know, prototype for a mechanic done much later in the Kingdom Hearts series, but we basically have to skydive and collect honey as we fall. But Sora makes a comment about a blustery hole, and when he jumps on, shoots us up and we get to fall all the way back down with Pooh Bear. Now, one thing to say, if you hit an obstacle, you will drop Pooh. And as we know, Pooh is the thing that actually collects all these honey pots. So try not to get hit, because you won't be able to collect the score if you're not holding on to Pooh. So you see these logs and bits of debris, you have to avoid them so you can keep hold of Pooh, so you can collect the items, so you can get the points. And I believe it's like a score of 2,000 or more. This isn't as bad as the honey tree one, because there is like the constant momentum, so it doesn't want you to get every point, but it wants you to get the vast majority of them. As you saw there, I bumped into something, Pooh went, awry, and I couldn't get some of those points. But we very easily got, a good amount there. With over 2,300, we got over 2,000 points, and we got the trophy. Well, the Steam achievement more correctly. The next mini game, we basically have to complete it and then try it again, because it's very scoundrelish. It says we have to defeat, I think it's 60 or 100 bees in 1 minute and 40 seconds. We have to fight away bees that are harassing Pooh, because he keeps taking all their honey. But in this initial playing of that mini game, there aren't that number of bees. So even if we finished it within the time limit that the trophy wants, the trophy specifically says, I need you to defeat this number of bees in under 1 minute 40. So, yeah. What we need to do now is talk to Eeyore. He's missing his tail. What is new? And he's like, I lost my tail. And Pooh's like, oh my god, I found it. And he's like, my tail? And Pooh's like, no, Eeyore, honey. So the poor little guy. But if you go over to this honey hollow, you end up getting accosted by bees. And it says here you can use a powerful sleight using gust and a honey spell. But there's only one gust spell in this deck. So what we need to do is use an attack card and then the honey sleight. And the reason we do that is we get the tornado move and we don't lose our arrow card. So it's all pretty good. You have to heal up Pooh, because if Pooh goes down, because as you can see, we don't have a health bar. Pooh has a health bar. So this one's kind of a moot point. It doesn't really matter how we do in this one, because we don't have the total number of bees to actually get the reward. So with that, we're down to 13. Really powerful number in this entire game series. 13. You didn't hear it from me, but it'll make sense why in a second. And then I'm like, quick, get the honey storm.
Come on.
And so I defeated that well under 1 minute 40, 1 minute and 2 seconds. But the reason I didn't get the trophy, you might be confused, you're like, recusant, you got a trophy. That's for landing a high score in every minigame, which the journal has now said is completed because you've tried every minigame. But we didn't get the high score the games wanted for that final minigame, because I think we only defeated like 50 bees or something, and they wanted like more bees. So you have to specifically try the minigame a second time to get the score, which is just like really, really frustrating. And then again, poor Eeyore's like, oh, you found my tail. And then we're literally like, no, Eeyore, we accidentally found your tail. We weren't even trying to actually find it. We don't give a shit about you, Eeyore. And then he's just like, thanks so much for helping me accidentally. I found this really powerful elixir card. Absolutely amazing. Probably the best card in the game is the elixir. Well, like, bar Mega Elixir, but like, elixirs on their own are plenty good. Completely reload all magic and all attack cards with a full deck refresh. But right now, we need to go back, we need to do our honey storms, and yeah, it's 70 bees. So we didn't have 70 bees the last time. And so I'm there like thinking, okay, I need to try my best to like actually get rid of some of them with the normal attack cards. I'm doing like sliding dashes and all, it's wild. But again, I actually thought it was 1:20 seconds, but it's actually 1:40, so it wasn't too bad. And now I'm like, can I just get an attack and then a heal? So it definitely can't be broken. Because I'm after putting, and I'm not using the heal first, so it doesn't come reloaded, you know. But this is the thing, Pooh can get seriously damaged, so we need to like look after our little guy. And then I'm like, oh my god, it's literally like getting so dangerous. And like we're nearly at a minute, I don't even have 20 seconds to go. And then I stock these cards, because then I'm like, oh, I can actually stock them. And then if they start to attack, I can card break them. And then I'm like, oh, we only have like 12 seconds and there's 12 more to go. I'm not going to get it done in 1:20 and I'm absolutely stressing out. But luckily, it wasn't even nearly that amount. And then Pooh's running low and I'm just like, just honey storm, just honey storm. And well within 1:40 seconds, we get our final 100 Acre Wood trophy. And a high potion. I mean, alright, why not? And with all of that, that's actually going to be our episode complete, guys. We've done a whole floor. We've gotten a bunch of achievements. I've shown you how to get all the achievements and given you guidance on that. But other than that, that's been our episode. I hope you've enjoyed. Leave a like and a comment. Subscribe if you're new. Share if you know someone who loves Kingdom Hearts and wants to beat these horrible minigames. But no doubt all the different cards we collected were well worth the effort. So I will chat to you guys next episode. Have a good one. And I hope you continue to enjoy your evening, morning, or afternoon, depending on when you've decided to tune in to watch this episode. Thanks so much. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Where did you go?
Guess he must have finally got tired of fighting with you.
I sure hope so.